Oh, gosh, I hope I haven't...
Bravo! Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo. Bravo.
Clap! How can you clap? Oh? So you like the noise, do you? Do you? Well, you should be ashamed! Ashamed, I say! To applaud the music of a treacherous Polish separatist! Rebel rousing! It's this kind of rebel rousing that puts the poison of Marxist Wagerian ideology in the... And those who partake in its vulgarization are accessory to treason!
You are drunk, Herr Hoss.
Out of my way, boy.
Come, Fraulein. Best clear off until the dust settles.
You should have seen me then, Fraulein Walker. I was so young and eager to witness whatever could happen between Dana and Leon. I needed to know, to be included, one way or another.
Not now, Lenny.
Lenny, don't. Give them some space, would you? Lenny, don't. Give them some space, would you?
You all right? Yeah, I thought so.
It's just that if I had retaliated, I would have lost my job, you know? Believe me, I came this close to not being able to pay for my studies at the academy after the holidays.
Forget it. He was blind drunk. Won't even remember it come tomorrow. Old Gustav could see it wasn't your fault. Besides, you didn't see him after your performance. Ecstatic he was.
There are more and more people like that brute. They don't even bother to hide their hatred anymore. It's like they've been given a mission, or perhaps I should say permission, to abuse people like me, as if Wagerians had suddenly become the scourge of society. And we're powerless to act because if we did, we'd lose our home. My parents, they've become a bundle of nerves. They can't sleep at night. Only last week, our shop window got smashed again, and our neighbors, they couldn't care less, and neither could the authorities. I'm sorry. I've upset you, haven't I?
You've put my own suspicions into words, Fraulein. Because what you say about the Brown Shadow is true, and that's what worries me. I used to think they were just a bunch of cranks in their ridiculous uniforms. But now I can see these lunatics really are serious. Deadly serious.
But you did know who was behind the Origin expedition.
Never gave it much thought, to be honest. Only met Huss and the scientists today. For me, they were no different from any other group I've trained. If I'd have known that, I'd have had second thoughts. Actually, do you know what?
What?
I'm going to stop training them.
Can you do that?
It's still a free country, right? So after a few weeks' notice, I'll be off the hook. At least, I get to spend the summer here with you. Painting.
But I don't paint.
No, you play. I paint. It's my passion. And you can be my muse.
Is that what you say to all the girls?
No. Never.
Hello, you two lovebirds. Everyone's going to bed, so you better come back inside or you'll catch cold, or worse.
And that's how Dana pipped everyone at the post. It only took one look for Leon to fall head over heels in love with her. And it didn't take much for Dana to fall for him. Love at first sight, you might say. The whole band stayed at the chalet all summer long. Then, I suppose, everyone went their own sweet way.
Did you ever see any of them again?
Oh, no.
What about Dana and Leon?
They too went their own ways, I guess. And that, Fräulein Walker, is all there is to it.
Where did Dana go after she left?
Back to her parents, I should think. Somewhere in Vagen.
Do you know if she's still alive?
Can't be sure, but I doubt it. It was a lifetime ago, Fräulein Walker.
Where do you think she might be if she were?
No idea. Things went from bad to worse after that summer. Not to mention half the town was razed during the war.
Did Dana leave anything here? Any documents or anything that might help me find where she went?
Not that I know of. But I suppose there might be in Father's old coffer. Must still be in the loft. Junta bought it from him that summer, so she could use it to store her precious filming gear. She was supposed to come back for it, but she never did. If there is anything that can help you, it will be in there. So feel free to look around the refuge by yourself if you like, even though I don't think anyone managed to open the coffer since Junta left.
Thank you, Demoiselle Lenny. Thank you so much. It's cold in here. There. But who could have left it open? This must be Yunta's coffer, the one Lenny spoke about. Amazing. Now it shows the view from the terrace. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much. The painting on the top of Yunta's coffer reminds me of the view from the terrace. The painting on the top of Yunta's coffer reminds me of the view from the terrace. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much. I think the spyglass on the terrace is pointed towards the mountains, the same that are on the top of Yunta's coffer. An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. That must be the piano Dana played on the night she met Leon. The night Lenny told me about.
Ah, I see I'm not the only one stuck here. Bah, pull up a seat and together we can moan about being stuck here.
Thank you, but I have things to do.
I hope you can stay until this evening at least. In London they have the changing of the guard. Here we get the changing of the colors. I guarantee it's worth the wait. English?
American, actually.
Oh, seeing as you've come so far, then. Besides, it's always nicer to be stranded in good company. From Belgium, myself, on a world climbing tour.
Stranded?
Didn't you know? They've closed the Teufelskragen. That's the path they call the Devil's Pass.
So that's what all the fuss is about.
All down to climate change.
You mean the thaw, right?
Made the path too dangerous to climb and apparently resulted in a morbid discovery.
Oh?
Bodies of resistance fighters. Killed while leading refugees to Switzerland. Frozen solid.
Resistance fighters? You mean frozen since the Second World War?
That's what the paper says.
Is that what the tent's for?
It's a temporary chapel of rest that the rescue team made while waiting for the bodies to be airlifted out.
I see. I guess there's no reason to disrespect the departed, even after all these years.
I only hope all this sudden interest from excavationists puts an end to the stupid rumors that a strange creature haunts the Silberspiegel. Otherwise, you can be sure, as soon as the old lady pops her clogs, this place will become run over by those infernal tourists.
I've had some experience with fantastic fauna myself. But what do you make of the so-called strange creature that roams the mountain?
Just another local fairy tale to pull in the tourists, if you ask me. They say it lives in prehistoric caves. And that it's responsible for people going missing. Ooh. Some even say that the mysterious cries you can hear on some nights are the creature calling for a mate. In other words, the usual twaddle you normally get in remote or uncharted places like the high mountain or the deep sea. Twaddle passed down from generation to generation, through sheer ignorance.
What about those frozen bodies they discovered at the foot of Devil's Pass?
Well, due to climate change, the snow line has receded, revealing the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War. Most probably resistance fighters and exiles, trying to flee the fascist occupiers and reach Switzerland by the pass. I imagine they got caught in an avalanche. Poor wretches have been imprisoned ever since. Until today. That is why the authorities have blocked access to the pass, so they can take the bodies out, identify them, and give them a proper burial.
Can you tell me about this Devil's Pass?
Oh, it's on the far side of the cirque, looking out from the terrace. As you can imagine, it's called Devil's Pass because it's extremely dangerous. Most of all because of the risk of avalanche. Only seasoned alpinists can negotiate it, really. As a professional alpinist myself, what I love about it is knowing I'm climbing in the tracks of courageous climbers of bygone times. There's a real sense of history about it. For example, resistance fighters used it during the war to smuggle vagrants and other victims of the Brown Shadow into Switzerland.
Right. Thanks for cluing me in. Anyway, I better get back to what I was doing.
You are welcome, Fräulein.
Lenny's father must have made this stair lift to help her get up and down the stairs. Must have taken him many hours. It's touching when you think about it. An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. This must be Lenny's room. Not sure I'm keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. Then I will be blameless, innocent of great transgression. Sweet. Photos of the refuge. Looks like they're arranged by time period. All these photos go up to the 80s, including my date of birth. That's pretty impressive. Obviously helps Lenny get up and about. She's still sitting there, watching. Wonder what she's thinking about. I must remember to ask Lenny about it. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much.
Now, Fräulein, I was just about to doze off.
Can you tell me about the resistance medal with your name on it?
Sure, I was in the Resistance. Not for those medals, though. Nothing but tin charms. You see, there's those who received medals, and those that were killed. And besides, they aren't gonna give me my legs back, are they?
No, but they prove you played a part in the liberation of your country.
Puh, nonsense. Nothing but bad memories. I'd rather not talk about it.
How did you meet Leon Kobates?
Why do you ask? You from the police or something?
No. I just thought I'd ask, since you seem to appreciate him. Didn't you?
Fräulein, when I said you could look in the guest rooms, it didn't include my room. But yes, like I said before, he was a regular customer even before the episode with Dana. To me, he was like a movie star. What young girl wouldn't be bowled over by a young, handsome alpinist? And to top it off, an Olympic medalist?
About Yunta's coffer.
What about it?
Where did the coffer in the loft come from?
In fact, Father made it himself during the long winter evenings. He wanted something more elegant and solid than the old family coffer where he kept the takings. So he made the one upstairs, thanks to the techniques he learnt when he worked in the Vorarlberg factory in Valladolid.
Valladolid in France?
That's right. The price Junta paid was equivalent to a month's worth of takings. Money well spent, though, because it was built like a mountain fortress.
You wouldn't happen to know the combination, would you?
I told you before, I don't know it.
I'll be going then.
Impossible.
Maintaining the refuge must be a huge job. As tough as Lenny is, I hope she has some help when she needs it. That must be the piano Dana played on the night she met Leon. The night Lenny told me about. Austere. Looks like a storage room. Somebody's been smoking. A client, maybe? Unless Lenny likes to sneak a smoke. I should try to use the spyglass on the terrace to find clues for the codes to Yunta's coffer. I should try to use the spyglass on the terrace to find clues for the codes to Yunta's coffer.
Fraulein Lainey will end up catching her death of cold if she stays out like that.
Reminds me of Hans's automatons in Valladolid.
No, I don't think so. That's the fabled Silberspiegel. I've already taken a picture of that view. I've already taken a picture of that view. I've already taken a picture of that view. I should try to use the spyglass on the terrace to find clues for the codes to Yunta's coffer. Amazing! Now it shows the view from the terrace. So that's what they call the Devil's Pass. Incredible. The bodies of the resistance fighters that the Alpinist mentioned must be inside. Gives me the creeps just... I've already taken a picture of that view. I've already taken a picture of that view. I've already taken a picture of that view.
The coffer Yunta used for her equipment is up in the loft. I've told you all I know. It was Father who mechanized all the refuge for me. The coffer Yunta used for her equipment is up in the loft. I've told you all I know.
A mechanical stove. Seen better days. Another object with the look of the Vorarlberg workshop. Dormitories. I wonder how many people stop at the refuge these days.
I should try to use some coordinates from the spyglass with the locks on Yunta's coffer. I should try to use some coordinates from the spyglass with the locks on Yunta's coffer. What if I tried to use the coordinates I found with the spyglass to unlock Yunta's coffer? I guess the left lock corresponds to the Zilberspiegel and the right one to the Devil's Pass. What if I tried to use the coordinates I found with the spyglass to unlock Yunta's coffer? I guess the left lock corresponds to the Zilberspiegel and the right one to the Devil's Pass. Summer 1937. The year Dana worked here. Let's see. I filled my last diary last night. Ordered another one, but still waiting for supplies to be delivered to the refuge. Using an old envelope in the meantime. Today invited Dana for a chat after her shift.
I'd like to know what Leon sees in her. I've never seen him so smitten.
Thanks for popping up, Dana.
How did the shift go?
Fine, same as usual.
Just finishing up here, then I'll make us a nice cup of tea.
Wow, that looks futuristic. What is it?
Ah, that little baby is my viewer. That's why it goes in the coffer.
What does it do?
I use it to put together and edit the rushes.
The what?
Rushes. In other words, the strips of unedited footage. I've finished today's selection, so be a dear and put it in the coffer, would you?
I would if I knew how.
Oh, just turn the key in the lock. Dana, be a darling and put the key somewhere safe. You can't be too careful with these mountain people, especially with that little Lenny sniffing around my equipment all the time.
Where do you normally put it?
I have a little hiding place over there.
That's a lot of equipment you have there. If you don't mind my asking, how do you manage to pay for it all?
Oh, that's easy, especially when you know a few generous patrons of the arts, dear. Hey, you little snoop, where do you think you're going?
Just looking. I love your photos.
Ah, well, they each represent an element of mountain wildlife and flora I've photographed recently. I use them as a sort of checklist.
A checklist, huh? Yunta's blank film, soon to become movies. All these newspaper clippings mention the Brown Shadow. According to Father, their influence is growing among the population. Now that I've had the misfortune of meeting Herr Huss here, I understand his concern.
From what I read, the hiding place seems to be near the bed.
Is this where you want me to put the key?
Yes, there's a dear.
It's a handy hiding place. Who made it?
Oh, Herr Gustav. He knows only too well that some customers have their little secrets, you know. Just need to finish preparing for the filming tomorrow. Then we can chat away to our heart's content. If you could just fetch me a new roll of film from the darkroom, then we're done.
Did you take the photos of the athletes? You're not often lonely then.
Well, look at our sweet little waitress, doesn't she?
This is where Yunta's bed used to be, which means her secret stash can't be far. Thing's stuck. Wrong one.
Get away!
Darn it. The end of Yunta's notes. Impossible to know what happened next. But maybe I can figure out how to open the coffer from what I've read. The key I got from the hiding place will be used to unlock the safe. The key I got from the hiding place will be used to unlock the safe. According to Yunta's notes, there was a room on the other side. I can't reach it anymore, but Dana could. Darn it. The end of Yunta's notes. Impossible to know what happened next. But maybe I can figure out how to open the coffer from what I've read.
Did you take this picture?
Of course.
Herr Gustav's radio. Looks like he customized it, probably to compensate for the wave disturbance due to the mountains. All these newspaper clippings mention the Brown Shadow. According to Father, their influence is growing among the population. Now that I've had the misfortune of meeting Herr Huss here, I understand his concern.
I'll need a key to open it.
That doesn't work.
Where can I find the combination for the mechanism? Darn it. The end of Yunta's notes. Impossible to know what happened next. But maybe I can figure out how to open the coffer from what I've read.
Herr Gustav's radio. Looks like he customized it, probably to compensate for the wave disturbance due to the mountains. All these newspaper clippings mention the Brown Shadow. According to Father, their influence is growing among the population. Now that I've had the misfortune of meeting Herr Huss here, I understand his concern.
The screen is in the way. Interesting footage. Let's see what's on the other reel. Lenny didn't say she filmed a fight between Dana and Leon. I'd better go back and see her to find out about it. Demoiselle Lenny, I saw the film you shot of Dana and Leon.
So Junta kept it. She got so cross when she discovered I'd rummaged through her stuff. She most certainly had secrets of her own, that one.
I know it was ages ago, but can you recall what happened between Dana and Leon that day?
You do like flogging a dead horse, don't you, Fraulein? But as you please. Since Junta never let me use her camera, I decided not to ask her anymore. Like that, she couldn't say no, could she? And that's when I heard them arguing.
How could you agree to this, Leon? How could you?
I told you I had no choice. The local guide for Baltayar can't do it anymore. He got injured.
There are plenty of other guides in Wagen. Why does it have to be you? Just tell them to find someone else.
Look, Dana, I didn't want to tell you, but...
But what?
Frank Huss, that brute from the other night. He's the one that made the call here. In other words, he's taking revenge by sending me to the other side of the world with the Origin expedition. And he said that if I refused, something might happen. Not just to me, but to you as well.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're a Vegarian and so are your parents, right? Well, Huss says it won't be long before the Brown Shadow is in power, and he made it clear that something was brewing, and that you and your parents would be first on the list.
What list?
I don't know, but it can't be good. Then he said that other Vegarians would follow.
Dear God.
Dana, darling, the world's gone crazy. Promise me you'll be very careful. It will be all right if you just watch yourself and what you say. I've asked Junta to stand by you just in case. It won't be long, darling. Half a school year at the Music Academy. I'll be home for Christmas. Promise. Oh, come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that. You know I don't like it.
It's true, though. That's exactly where you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
If you keep that up, Leon Kobatis, I'll find you a nickname too.
Go on, then.
All right. Your nickname will be Highland Painter from now on.
Not sure my Veganese artist friends will like it, but why not? Beautiful, isn't it? I could stay here forever.
There, Fraulein Walker. That is all I have to say. I hope this time you have what you need to continue on your journey.
Thank you, Demoiselle Lenny. But there is just one more thing. You mentioned a music academy? They must have ledgers and archives. Maybe I'll be able to find out whether Dana left an address there.
Well, it hasn't moved. It's still in Wagen. Go to the musicians' district. It's right next to the musical square. That's all I can tell you. So if you don't mind, Fraulein.
Thank you. Then that's where I'll continue my search.
Is it really worth your while to keep looking for Dana? Is it not just another pipe dream, Fraulein? I get the impression there have been others.
I prefer to look at it as a calling. Besides, I don't have much choice. Thanks to you, she's a part of me now.
As you wish. I hope you find what you are looking for.
Thank you. Again.
I've got everything I need from here, I guess. Best get back to the guest house. Get some rest. I'll go to the music academy first thing in the morning. That must be the notice the alpinist at the refuge spoke about. It prohibits access to Devil's Pass due to the bodies of the resistance fighters found on the ice. I found her, my sweet Katusha. The girl in the painting. Her name is Dana. Dana Rose.
That's nice, Kate. Real nice.
I'm gonna find out who she was, just like I promised you.
Nothing more than a good old adventure to forget your grief, I guess. You should go, Kate, or you're gonna miss the tram. There will always be a train for you.
Oh, gosh. What a day. Oscar's okay, wherever he is. I'm not abandoning him. I just need to find him. Closed. It's late. Frau Wagner must have gone to bed.
Is that you, Katie?
Yes, Mom! I mean, who else can it be? Come on, I've been cooped up in my room for hours. Jeez. Pulling my hair out, trying to figure out the math problem Miss Wormwood gave us. I deserve a break, right? Come on, I've been cooped up in my room for hours. Jeez. Pulling my hair out, trying to figure out the math problem Miss Wormwood gave us. I deserve a break, right? Looks like Mom's friends came over again last night. She's been seeing them a lot since what happened to Dad. Maybe too much. Mommy, can I go out and play with Olivia?
That depends on you, Munchkin. Did you finish your homework?
Yeah. More or less.
So I can come check it then, right, Katie?
Actually, it looks looks too cold to go out. Think I'll stay in.
Just what I was thinking.
Not fair.
Oh, hello, Munchkin.
Hey, Mom. Wow. I hope I get to travel around the world too when I grow up.
Is everything okay, Katie? How are you doing with your homework, Munchkin?
We haven't seen Grandpa and Grandma for a long time. Mom says they'll probably come over from New York on her birthday.
Are you getting bored, Katie? Because if you are, I can always find a chore or two for you.
No, Mom, I'm just fine.
Is everything okay, Katie?
I'd love to play with Mom's music box in the living room. You forgot your music box.
Be careful with that, please, Munchkin.
I just love it.
You've always liked it, ever since you were little.
Will you give it to me when I'm big?
Maybe, if you're a good girl, when I get old.
So when will that be then?
Later, Katie.
But when?
In a very, very long time, I guess. When I'll be gone.
Dear Kate, wherever you are now, despite the sad news it contains, I hope this letter reaches you in time.
Oh, give it a rest, Olivia.
Dear Kate, wherever you are now, despite the sad news it contains, I hope this letter reaches you in time.
Oh, give it a rest, Olivia. Olivia wanted me to call her. Obviously, that's why she wrote a number down. Ah, what the hell? You want me to call you, Olivia? Fine. I've survived worse criticism. I shouldn't put it off. I better call Olivia while I have the courage. Who do you think you are, Olivia Foster? It's easy to judge and lecture me from New York. You know nothing about what I've gone through, of what I've had to endure since leaving Hans. Looks like I'm not the only one who can't sleep tonight. This is not the time to surf the web. If I don't call Olivia now, I never will. Don't know why I should be so nervous about making a simple phone call. I mean, hey, I've crossed Europe, been in all sorts of danger, and yet look at me here. I'm worrying about talking to my former best friend. Oh, and I think I used to spend my life on the phone gossiping with her. So what do I risk? Criticism? The one who missed her mother's funeral because she was breaking rocks at the bottom of a mine. In any case, Olivia hasn't stopped criticizing me ever since I left Valladolid on Hans Vorarlberg's train. I'm the one who should be criticizing her. I mean, come on. Isn't she the one who took advantage of my absence to get her hooks into Dan? Now look at me, mulling over old grudges. That's exactly what I wanted to escape from when I decided to go with Hans in his train to Siberia. And then there was the departure with the Yukon tribe, their seasonal migration. Come on, Kate, for Christ's sake, stop procrastinating. Just make the darn call and get it over with.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Kenton, is that you? Who's there, please?
Got your letter, Olivia.
Kate, I sent it 2 years ago.
I know. Things have been complicated.
Complicated? I see. And so when are you coming back to New York? To visit your mother's grave?
You know I can't come back, Olivia. I'm still wanted by the police over the sale of the Vorarlberg factory.
Oh, I haven't forgotten, believe me. If only you knew how much the accusations hurt your mother. Visits from the police, the requisitions, and just when she was diagnosed, too. And yet the poor woman never stopped hoping that her daughter would come back one day. Or at least call to help her in her final days.
I don't have to justify myself to you, Olivia, or to anyone else.
Kate, Okay, listen to me. I thought you had plenty of time to think about how you abandoned all of us. Me, your mother, Dan, or even that poor Mr. Kenton. And maybe felt at least some remorse. But I guess I was dreaming. All you do is keep chasing castles in the sky and ignore those who care about you.
I get why you're mad. Do you think I'm not mad at myself?
Well, I hope so.
But there's nothing I can do now to change what happened. It's over, Olivia. All I have now is the woman in the painting.
Oh, Kate, I should have known. And I should never have asked you to call me. Goodbye, Kate. I hope you find whatever it is you've been looking for these past 3 years. One thing's for sure, though. You wanted to be alone, and that's how you're gonna stay.
Okay, let's go, kiddo. Another day, another page. A new day in Vagen. I must take the tram to that music academy where Dana Rose was a student in the 1930s. With a bit of luck, they'll have kept her records.
Demoiselle Lenny told me the Music Academy is near the musical square. Maybe Frau Wagner can tell me more.
Ah, hello, Miss Walker. Ah, Miss Walker, did you sleep all right?
Fine, thanks.
Now, is there anything you need?
I'd like to go to the Music Academy. Can you tell me how to get there?
You just need to take the tram northbound to the musical square.
Is there anything I should know about the Academy?
To tell the truth, it's a little glum nowadays. Especially when you think it was once the jewel of the town. Where students came from all over the world to perform on the musical square, you know. Pity. It's since lost its panache of old through lack of students and means.
Well, I guess I should get going. Thank you for your time, Frau Wagner.
Feel free to ask if you have any more questions.
Looks like this district has been more modernized than the antique shop district. The academy must be a large building. I don't think it'll be in these narrow streets.
Don't do that. Stop it. Oh dear. Help! Help! Someone! Help! Put me down!
Oscar?
Bet you can't catch it!
Don't you dare! Put it down! Right now!
All right, then.
Oscar! Are you all right?
I had a bit of a bumpy ride, but I am glad to see you, Kate Walker.
Oscar. Oh, I've missed you so much.
I say, this display of emotion is most unreasonable, Kate Walker. I do hope you don't plan such profusion every time I change bodies.
It's just that I've been worrying about you. Where were you, Oscar?
Well, the mechanical instinct of my host took me for a ride, all across town. It took me the whole night to tame it, and that's when I bumped into those little rascals.
Yeah, lucky I was in the area, huh?
Quite. So, Kate Walker, what has happened since we parted at the Balaton River?
Maybe we should just sit down for a second, Oscar. This might take a while. And that's when Demoiselle Lenny gave me the address of the Music Academy in this neighborhood.
I see, Kate Walker.
Any other thoughts, Oscar?
Well, I guess I could ask you where we are heading, but truth be told, it doesn't really matter. I will follow you wherever you lead, and for as long as you require my services, Kate Walker. That's what an automaton does.
Thank you, Oscar.
Oh dear, I hope you're not going to become physical, are you?
No, I was just going to give you a pat on the back.
I would rather you refrain from having such thoughts. I am not a dog, you know. Whatever next?
Anyway, we'd better get going, Oscar, and you'd better keep out of sight.
Oh dear, I don't suppose I have any choice. Is it really necessary for me to be shut up in here, Kate Walker?
Sorry, Oscar, but I don't want to run the risk of losing you again. Do you know where the Music Academy is, Oscar?
It should logically be on the square.
An automaton musician. Looks exactly like Hans's style, like at Bohagstadt. Wow, Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing. Do you know where the Music Academy is, Oscar?
It should logically be on the square.
All these letters. They look like letters of formal notice. They probably haven't been paying the bills for some time. So that's the famous Vaughan Music Academy? It's not what I was expecting.
Guten Tag!
What now? If you're from the council, you can come back when I'm not so busy.
Oh, sorry. You startled me.
So, now what do you want, council minion?
I'm not from the council. I'm just a visitor here. I came because I was hoping to look at the file of a student from the 1930s.
Oh. I'm sorry. It's just that I haven't time for digging up old files from 70 years ago. I have way too much to do here, you understand.
I can tell you're a little overwhelmed. Where's the rest of the staff? Or maybe a student could show me.
You are standing in front of the rector and the only employee of this academy. My name is Maximilian Mahler, and it falls upon me to manage everything on the premises, the maintenance, the archiving, and the lot before we close next month. So, if you don't mind...
I'm very sorry to hear that the academy is closing, and I can see you're extremely busy, but I've come such a long way to see it. I'd be so grateful if you could locate it. It's really important to me.
And so is this place important to me, too. And I would love to hear the mechanical orchestra play one last time before the academy closes. But alas, I can't, can I? Unless...
Unless what?
Well, you know.
All right, then. So if I get the mechanical orchestra going, you'll get me that file, right?
Oh, of course, Fraulein. Of course.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Believe it or not, I have seen mechanisms like the one on the square before.
Well, in that case, I promise to give you the file in return for your services.
Thanks.
But I must warn you that the square has undergone some transformations over the years, and some parts of the mechanism may be difficult to get to.
Don't worry, I'll make myself thin and slide between the cracks.
You'll find some of them scattered around the square, and some of the others you'll find in the clock tower. Now, if you'll excuse me for a second.
What are you...
Now, What is the name of that student you're interested in?
Rose. Dana Rose.
And what were the years she attended our illustrious academy?
In the 30s. 1937, to be precise.
Oh. And here it is. And here you will find the annual inspection reports of the mechanisms by Frau Beckmann.
Frau Beckmann?
She was the rectoress of the academy during the years you spoke of. These are from 1937. You see, I have a marvellous memory regarding archives. This is why I have chosen Frau Beckmann's, because there's something in here regarding that Edna Droz you spoke of.
Dana Rose.
Quite. You will also find some sheet music with annotations. This is the Hymn of Vargan, which you must play on the piano on the square in order to activate the Orchestra of Automatons. Once you have fixed the mechanisms, of course. All right, then. Here you go. What are you waiting for?
This sheet music corresponds to the piano part for the Hymn of Vargan. Someone's added annotations. They could help me play the hymn on the piano on the square, like the rector asked me to. Someone's added annotations. This sheet music corresponds to the piano part for the Hymn of Vargan. I wonder what it's supposed to represent. The report that the rectoress of the academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find Music Academy Inspection Report, October 12, 1937.
Today, I was due to inspect the musical mechanisms that enable students to give a public display of their talent and enable us to showcase the quality of our teaching to the people of our beautiful town. Like every year, I needed a volunteer from our students to help me during the inspection, and this year's choice was obvious.
I'm fine, really.
Well, you're looking off color, darling, and on edge.
No, it's just that I haven't heard from Leon since he left with the Origin expedition from Kantar. And also,
Well, we've got company. You'll tell me later, Dana, darling. Meantime, be good and stay safe.
You too, Yunta.
Is everything all right? You look under the weather. We don't want one of our best and brightest to fall ill now, do we?
I'm just a little worried, that's all. About a friend who has left on a long voyage.
And who was that lady?
Just a friend I met this summer.
You do keep some surprising company, Fraulein Rose. Anyway, I have something for you that will take your mind off things.
Oh?
Would it interest you to see the mechanisms that enabled you to perform so brilliantly here last spring?
That would be wonderful.
Good. Come and join me at the kiosk when you have a moment. But don't be too long, though. Come and see, Fraulein.
Incredible.
Isn't it just? You see these flags? Each mechanism housing for each musical automaton on the square is represented by one of these flags.
Fascinating.
Today is the day they are being serviced. Each mechanism has been inspected by an Academy maintenance man. In theory, they're all functional. But if you like, you can go and see these maintenance men on my behalf and fetch back their respective reports. You would be doing me a big favor, as I have to inspect the piano in the kiosk. And also, it will give you a chance to take a peek at each of the automaton mechanisms.
Thank you. I'd be delighted.
Now, take this. You'll need it to open the maintenance room that leads to the most impressive mechanism of all, that of the clock tower.
Thank you, Frau Beckmann.
Do you have any questions before you go?
Do you know who built the mechanical orchestra? My father told me it didn't exist when he was young.
They were built by a strange young French inventor by the name of Vorarlberg some years ago. From what I heard, he was visiting Wagen while en route to the east, just after the huge fire that destroyed the town. He was moved by the legend of Vera Schönberg, that virtuoso who died in the fire, so he offered his talents to rebuild the city and create the mechanical orchestra.
What happened to Vera Schönberg? My mother always says it's the saddest story.
And she's right. You probably know that Vera Schönberg was Wagen's most famous musician at the beginning of the century. But her legend was truly born the night she performed a cello concerto, right here on the square. It was also the night of the worst fire in Wagen's modern history.
And Frau Schönberg, she died in the fire, right?
She did. As well as all the other musicians and the entire audience. They were surrounded by flames, trapped on this square.
How dreadful.
Dreadful indeed. But according to the legend, Vera Schönberg kept playing Wagen's hymn until the very end. She understood they were all doomed to die, and her music brought them peace of mind during their last moments. This automaton you played with last spring was created in her image as a final tribute.
I had no idea.
Well, now you know all about the legend of Vera Schönberg. Was there something else, Fräulein Rose?
When the mechanical orchestra played along with me last spring, it was incredible. But how does it manage to play at the same tempo as the piano? It was almost like in a dream.
Oh, it wasn't dream work, Fräulein, but clockwork. The piano is connected to the mechanism that you are going to inspect, and the hymn of Wagen played on the keys. That's what sets the rhythm and the intensity of the performance, and that's what triggers everything else.
I'll go and see the maintenance team.
Good. Thank you, Fräulein.
Looks like the rector was right, Oscar. I should be able to find the mechanisms he wants me to repair, by following the circuit Dana described in the report.
They would still need to be accessible to us today, Kate Walker.
Glad to see you haven't lost any of your legendary optimism, my dear Oscar. It looks like the Rector is desperate to reduce the costs of running the Academy. Excuse me? Hello?
Now what?
I see you're not a fan of modernizing the square.
Oh, the Council, in its great wisdom, deemed it outdated and unpredictable for the musical automatons to be triggered by the best student in the Academy, or a soloist, or a virtuoso visiting Vargan. Not to mention buskers, they certainly don't attract any tourists. No, what they thought was they would electrify and computerize the activation of the mechanical concert. So it would happen on a schedule, like an attraction.
Did they do it?
Oh, the talks went on, but nothing was ever done, and so the square has basically been abandoned. And the mechanical automatons have fallen into disrepair.
There's just one problem. Even if I do manage to fix all the different parts of the mechanical orchestra, I still have to play the piano properly, and I haven't played piano since I left junior high. My mom bought me one when I was a kid, but it really wasn't my strong suit.
There's no need to worry. You don't need to be a virtuoso to activate the mechanism. The mechanical orchestra will come out if you play all the notes in the right order, regardless of the rhythm. You just need to know the basics of music reading.
Why is the Academy going to close?
For the simple reason that we have no students. No students, no lessons. No lessons, no Academy.
And why are there no students? That's not a stupid question.
Because the mayor has taken away our grant that enabled our institution to become famous the world over.
Why would he do that?
Oh, budget restrictions, apparently. So, no staff, no students.
No students, no lessons. I get it.
But, between you and me and this counter, I'd say that's all just a pretext to get us out of the building.
And why would anyone want to do that?
To make others rich, of course. Property developers who are going to slice our institution up into shops, apartments, and office spaces, just like they've done with all the other buildings around the musical square.
I'd better get going then.
Quite. Good luck with the mechanisms, Fraulein.
So that's the famous Vaughan Music Academy? It's not what I was expecting. An automaton musician. Looks exactly like Hans's style, like at Bohgstadt. I don't think they mentioned this code in the report.
Come back and see me once you've got the reports from the 4 maintenance.
I can't open it like this. It looks like it's been mechanically sealed. I don't think I'll be able to open it directly. If the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them. Wow. Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing. Wow. Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing. So that's the famous Vaughan Music Academy? It's not what I was expecting. I can't open it like this. It looks like it's been mechanically sealed. I don't think I'll be able to open it directly. the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them. Looks locked. I can't go in. That brand was everywhere in New York when I left. And now they've even got branches here. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, Fräulein. What can I do for you?
Do you know anything about the Wagen Music Academy?
It's the large building across the square there. It used to be quite renowned worldwide, actually.
But not anymore?
Well, from what I gather, hardly anyone studies there nowadays. I wouldn't be surprised if it were closed.
Well, what happened?
Budget cuts from the town council, I guess. The academy can't be very lucrative.
I see. How come the square is so well known?
Because of the mechanical orchestra there. It used to be quite the attraction. Every year the Academy's best student would play along with it, as did renowned musicians from around the world.
Oh, that sounds intriguing. Is it scheduled to play today?
I'm afraid not. Several years back, the town council discussed computerizing it. But the plan never went through, and no one has ever heard its music since.
There are a lot of tourists on the square.
Indeed. It attracts thousands of customers every year. A veritable boon for us retail shops.
And for the people of the town, too?
I wouldn't know about that. I live on the outskirts, as do most of the people. What with the rents being as high as they are here, you know.
Thank you. I should go now.
Auf Wiedersehen, Fräulein. Come back again.
So you're the one Frau Beckman sent. Go on. Have a butcher's at the mechanism if you want.
It seems perfectly functional.
You can tell, Frau Beckman, this automaton still works correctly, but it's so filthy then it won't last long. It's going to take me the whole day to give it a good clean if it's to get past winter.
I can hardly believe I held my concert here just 6 months ago. 6 months. Seems like a lifetime. So much has happened. Meeting Leon for a start. It would be so good if he were here now. I love receiving his letters since he left to Baltear with the Origin expedition. The way he described Kantar, the capital, made it sound like a city from a dream. We've said so much on paper. And I love to read between the lines. But since the expedition left Kantar for the mountains, no news. I just hope he's okay.
Make the most of it. I've left the mechanism open. Go on. Have a butcher's at the mechanism if you want.
It seems perfectly functional.
An automaton musician. Looks exactly like Hans's style, like at Bohogstadt.
Don't forget the maintenance man in the maintenance room of the clock tower. The room for which I gave you the key, Fraulein.
Frau Beckmann told me to look at the mechanisms on the square. I wonder what they look like, especially now that they've been inspected by the maintenance men. Frau Beckmann told me to look at the mechanisms on the square. I wonder what they look like, especially now that they've been inspected by the maintenance men.
Oh, it had to fall to me.
Make the most of it. I've left the mechanism open.
The maintenance man said it was functional. I shouldn't touch it. It seems perfectly functional.
A part of the mechanism was damaged, but I changed it. You can tell Frau Beckmann everything's in order now.
You'll find the maintenance man next to each of the musical mechanisms. Don't forget the maintenance man in the maintenance room of the clock tower. The room for which I gave you the key, Fraulein.
Hey, careful what you're doing here, right? Don't go and injure yourself or damage any of the material.
The spare parts for the automatons on the square.
I just come down from the tower. You can tell Frau Beckmann everything's in order up there. The mechanism's in perfect condition.
According to what the maintenance guy told Dana, there should be an access to the clock tower somewhere in the room.
Oh, I've already checked over everything upstairs. There's no point you going up there.
I would love to be able to climb to the top of the clock tower. They say the mechanism is incredible.
Go and write out your report to Frau Beckmann. There's nothing else for you to do here.
I should go back and see Frau Beckmann.
The report ends here. It doesn't say what happened next.
I think it contains all the information you need to repair the mechanisms on the square, Kate Walker.
The report ends here. It doesn't say what happened next.
I think it contains all the information you need to repair the mechanisms on the square, Kate Walker.
but hard to fall to me.
If the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them. If the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them. We're going to have to find all the automatons, Oscar.
According to the Rectoress's report, the model situated next to the piano in the kiosk shows their location and whether they've been repaired.
We're going to have to find all the automatons, Oscar.
According to the Rectoress's report, the model situated next to the piano in the kiosk shows their location and whether they've been repaired.
Looks like they've tried to blend all these new shops into the original facades. It doesn't make it any less a tourist trap, though. Wow. Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing. We're going to have to find all the automatons, Oscar.
According to the Rectoress's report, the model situated next to the piano in the kiosk shows their location and whether they've been repaired.
If the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them.
The report ends here. It doesn't say what happened next.
I think it contains all the information you need to repair the mechanisms on the square, Kate Walker.
The report ends here. It doesn't say what happened next.
I think it contains all the information you need to repair the mechanisms on the square, Kate Walker.
I already told you. I'm up to my ears. Come back and see me when you've managed to activate them. Come back and see me when you've managed to
We're going to have to find all the automatons, Oscar.
According to the Rectoress's report, the model situated next to the piano in the kiosk
The report that the rectoress of the Academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find all the information I need to repair the mechanisms on the square. The report that the rectoress of the Academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find all the information I need to repair the mechanisms on the square. I wonder what it's supposed to represent. The report that the rectoress of the academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find all the information I need to repair the mechanisms on the square. I don't think they mentioned this code in the report. Someone's added annotations. They could help me play the hymn on the piano on the square, like the rector asked me to. The report that the rectoress of the academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find all the information I need to repair the mechanisms on the square. The report that the rectoress of the academy filled in with the help of Dana. I'm not going to try every possible combination. There must be a way of finding out the code.
Dana Rose must have been able to see the code when she went to see the maintenance man in 1937.
I'm not going to try every possible combination. There must be a way of finding out the code.
Dana Rose must have been able to see the code when she went to see the maintenance man in 1937.
Go on. Have a butcher's at the mechanism if you want.
Wow. So this is what the mechanism looks like when it's perfectly functional. Frau Beckmann has given me a unique opportunity to visit all the mechanisms on the square. I ought to use the opportunity to inspect them further. Frau Beckmann has given me a unique...
Make the most of it. I've left the mechanism open.
Frau Beckmann has given me a unique opportunity to visit all the mechanisms on the square.
I don't think they mentioned this code in the report.